In the distance education system, the learner support system is one of the very important component. As far as the system of distance education goes, it operates through a different teaching learning mechanism, and in this respect the role of learner support and within that assignments and academic counselings play significant roles. The academic counselors perform various roles in the learner support system. In order to have effective learner support, there is need to have qualified academic counselors who are motivated to do the roles to be performed to teach the students who are actually learning in isolation. And in this respect, to discuss the role of academic counselors in the teaching learning process in distance education and different kinds of learner support system available in various institutes, distance teaching institutes in the country and other parts of the world, we would like to discuss with a number of experts on distance education and shall explain the role of academic counselors in distance education system. Today we have with us Professor N.S. Ramagowda, former Vice Chancellor, Karnataka State Open University, with us in the studio. What's your view on the learner support system in distance education?
Learner support system in distance education not only has a crucial role, but it is absolutely necessary. In fact, that distinguishes between the correspondence education and distance education. Many times people ask us, sir, what is correspondence education, what is distance education? Our simple reply is, correspondence education plus student support services is distance education. More than 100 dual mode universities are practicing distance education in this country, but unfortunately most of them have really not transformed themselves from correspondence to distance education. So it is absolutely necessary. And in what way it helps the learner, distant learner, is very important now. Number one, the isolation of the distant learner can be taken care of by the system of student support system, and also through the academic counselors a kind of confidence is built in the distant learners, and also these learners, unlike the formal learners, they are busily preoccupied with the family commitments and also their working environment. So whatever stress and strain they develop either in the family or in the working place, that gets in a way removed in the student support system. So student support system should take care of removing the stress and strain developed by these learners at those places. And further, the student support system also helps in reducing the dropout system. Had there been a student support system, people would have just joined for the system. Over a period of time, even 75% of these people would have been dropped out. But for the support extended by student support system, most of them are remaining in the system without getting themselves dropped out. And it also ensures the instructional system and evaluation system, which otherwise there is no way of verifying whether the instructional system in place and it is being implemented, whether the evaluation system in place and being implemented, that is really testified and looked into action at the student support system, both the instructional system and the evaluation. So that way you can list out 100 and odd benefits of the presence of student support system, and without that the distance education system cannot survive. It goes back to your conventional correspondence education.
It's a very broad question. To answer this question, I would first like to speak on the importance of learner support in distance education. In fact, learner in the system of distance education is an independent individual. An individual who is supposed to be self-motivated, and he is interested to acquire higher education and higher learning for whatever purposes he has in mind. And to serve him or to meet this learning need, the distance education system prepares a learning material which is supposed to deliver what he needs. But at the same time, what really happens is that he has to internalize the learning material that is being delivered for a particular course. It may not always happen that the individual may be able to internalize the material of his own, at his own, and there the role of support services come in. This is one aspect of support services about the learning, but at the same time, if you also analyze the support system, then in fact support is needed even before enrollment, during the enrollment, after the enrollment, and when he has begun his studies, and at the time of examination. So it's learner support is a continuing process which begins from the enrollment into a particular course until it goes on till the course is completed by him. So it's a very broad canvas. Now, when you talk of the pre-enrollment support, distance education systems have devised certain systems of their own, and mostly these systems today are computer generated online support systems. Every information is made available, and there are also systems which can provide you information, question based information, and the universities are doing a lot in this direction, and IGNOU is also perhaps doing something in this direction. And once the student is enrolled, then he needs a very important personal guidance and counseling with regard to the selection of certain optional courses, with regard to the fixation and selection of and choice of the study center he would like to approach. He needs a counseling about the specific requirements under that course. Now, there again he needs support, and once he has started his studies, or I say when he has really begun to study, then naturally he has to meet the requirements of the course. And to meet those requirements of the course, I mean, which differ from course to course, he may be required to, say for example, submit assignments in time. He may be required to come for attending the personal contact programs, which may be of compulsory nature, which may not be compulsory nature. And this is one aspect of it. So he needs what I say formative learning counseling during the formative stages when he is really internalizing the things. So I see that I can't foresee and visualize a system of distance teaching and learning without a very efficient support system.
This learner support system has to be looked into on the analogy of consumer support system or customer support system. You know, there are different ways of looking at distance education. One way of looking at it as an industrialized form of education. There have been people like Otto Peters who thought distance education as an industry, and of course they have given the reasons as to why they consider it as an industry. Large production on a large scale, and the product going through various units of specialization and ultimately distributed to people across a wide large area. And when the product reaches the unit, just as in the case of the Maruti cars being produced at one place and then distributed through several distribution agencies, and then being taken care of local service agents all over the country. We need to see that the products given by the industry meet the requirement and the needs of the consumer who wants to use them. On the same analogy, In distance education, there are students who are opting for courses, and those courses are being produced centrally from one place and then distributed across a wide region. See, when I say learner support system, the learner support may be from the beginning till the end. Say like at the time of registration, the learner may need some support, and when the registration is over, once the student get admitted, then he may need some support by way of getting the course material, getting the courseware and other things. And once the material reaches him, he may need support in terms of instructional delivery, and perhaps later he may need support in terms of certification. And then after certification is done, again the learner may need support in terms of post-qualification guidance. So that way support is needed at different levels for different purposes. That way I should say in IGNOU we have different divisions which cater to these support needs. We have the student registration and evaluation division, which takes care of registration as well as certification, and then we have the EMPC and the MPDD divisions, which take care of material production and material distribution. Similarly, we have a division called Regional Services Division, which caters to the individual needs of the students located at different places. And this regional service division operates at 3 levels. The regional service division is there at the headquarters, and we have what is known as regional centers, a network of regional centers across the country, and each regional center is supported by a number of study centers, program study centers, learner support centers and work centers and things of that kind at the lower level. So it's a kind of a 3-tier arrangement of support system for the individuals. Then if you take the actual support, the means of support, you have mediated support going to the learners and interpersonal support reaching the learners. When I say mediated support, it may be support given to the individual in terms of the tutor comments given in assignments, or it may be in terms of the correspondence that's being regularly held between a study center and the learner, or the regional center and the learner, or maybe from the schools with the learner. So like that, there could be a number of, apart from this, you can have teleconferences, interactive radio counseling, EduSat. I mean, there's so many other media which is being pressed into service for supporting the learners. When you come to the interpersonal support, we have what is known as a grievance cell at the regional centers, where the students can come and talk about their problems, get them resolved, or you can have the regular counseling sessions at the study centers where the students go for the purpose of tutorials and also for purpose of interaction with the other learners and the experts in the field. Like this, the support is organized at different levels for different purposes.
To me, nothing could be more important than learner support in ODL, Open Distance Learning. Not because I am Director of Student Support Services, because I look at it from 2 realms. The first is the philosophical realm, the other one is the reality. What do I mean by the philosophical realm? Whenever we talk about open distance learning, always we say that it is learner centered, and also we say ODL marks a paradigm shift from teaching to learning, from teacher to learner. Whatever we talk about, or whenever we talk about, and this is a constant kind of a slogan right now. So even if you look at ODL in terms of the philosophical underpinnings, the focus has been on learner support. Then in the reality, the learner support perhaps can be seen in 3 different angles. One is at the pre-course support. Before a student joins, or a potential student joins a university, he or she needs some kind of advice, information, counseling, things of that kind. Then after joining, he or she needs more support in terms of course related and also at a personal level. Once the person completes that, he or she again needs some support in terms of post completion of the program. For example, supposing I want to get transcription, supposing I want to get some kind of certificates from the university, say post convocation, how one should go about. So I put all these things together, that is pre-course, on-course and post-course. We need always some kind of support to be extended to the learners. So as I said, just to reiterate, to me that is very important because of the philosophical reasons and also of the reality. As I am not looking at any one particular university, any open learning context, the problem has been that the focus is on learner materials, the course materials. The learner support has always been at the peripheral. That should be changed. The focus should now be on learner support. Then whatever we create, that should be revolving around the learner support.
How do you see the learner support system that are organized in distance education in India? What are the structure of the learner support system?
Now, as far as the system of distance education that exists in India, especially after the establishment of Indira Gandhi Open University, a kind of standardization is being developed. And this system works in a kind of three-tier system: headquarters at the university level, the study center at the field level, and a regional center which liaisons between the policies taken at the university level and implementation done at the so how to ensure this system to be in place. So therefore, any new university coming up, either a dual mode university running the system, or a state open university, or a deemed university, or a private university, they must ensure headquarters system, the regional center system in between, and also study center. And each unit has a prominent role to play at headquarters, at regional centers, and at center. But maximum role of student support system is played at the study center. So therefore, we must be very careful in selecting the study center. I mean, lot of debate is going on regarding what kind of study centers. Should it be affiliated colleges in a formal system, or a registered education institution can take the role of a study center. So the Distance Education Council has already formulated what should be the nature of study center. And when once you identify study center, both in the affiliated college system and also registered education societies, you must ensure several points. Number one is whether infrastructure is available. When I say infrastructure, from minimum to maximum. So the university which decides what kind of infrastructure should be at the study center, they prepare a kind of standard list and would say any institution wants to become a study center should have a minimum infrastructure like classroom for teaching, then a library hall, a library room, a computer room, an office room. So this is the kind, and labs and restroom for students and teachers. So this is the minimum infrastructure required in any study center. This is number one, and it could be exclusively kept for the use of study center. And also the other points are you have to ensure the availability of at least minimum number of academic counselors who could teach both theory and practicals in whatever courses are activated in the study center, be it certificate course, be it diploma course, be it a degree course. And these academic counselors who are qualified, experienced as per the norms of Distance Education Council, which is now the apex body for distance education, should be ensured. And these teachers whom you select, they are all part-timers, both handling the study center affairs, and also those who handle both theory and practical, both of them should be trained. So this training is another important component that should be ensured from the university level, and these functionaries should be trained in that. And also you must have a good feedback mechanism as to what is happening in the study center, maybe in the form of a monthly report or visits by specified committees once in 2 months or once in 3 months to find out whatever they have committed for both instruction system and evaluation system, is it happening or not. So that feedback system would enable the university to check up whether things are happening the way in which it was planned. If that is not happening, how to remedy it. And also in fact these are the days even the placement and career training is a part of distance education. You can't say that is a part of formal system alone, it need not be ensured in the distance. So it is almost like a package, as it happens in a formal system. In its own way, the student support system takes care of all these requirements. So, therefore, a university which establishes this 3-tier system of distance education, headquarters, regional center and study center, and especially at the study center, all these minimum requirements should be ensured and properly monitored.
What is the method that you are following, the structure that you are following at the Tamil Nadu Open University to provide the learner support system?
Right now what we follow is a 3-tier system. At the headquarters, we have the policy makers and course production, all these things. At the middle level, we have university coordinating centers, mostly at the district level. Because this being a state open university, initially we thought we will go for the regional centers, but later it was kind of reviewed, and it will be better for us, we thought we will go for university, district level coordinating centers. And at the third level, that is the final level, we have learning centers for various things, various programs. One is the learning resource center for programs such as MA, economics, political science, or that kind of thing, for learning resource centers. And there are centers like VPC, vocational program centers, that cater to exclusively to the vocational programs, and there are also computer program centers. We have about 800 centers of this nature put together, all LRC, Learning Resource Center, VPC, vocational program centers, and the CPCs, that computer program centers, and also some centers which are very specific for programs like shipping and management. They need special care. So, we have special centers also. And the coordinating centers, the role is to coordinate the LRCs and other centers, so that it is almost like a decentralized process, so that we can cover each and every student as much as possible.
From a series of interviews with experts, those who have worked in the learner support system in distance education and those who have done research and training in this particular area, today we learned certain issues that are affecting the learner support services and the roles performed by academic counselors. Importantly, the roles that we discussed, that the kind of services performed by the academic counselors, tutoring roles, the assignment evaluator role, and the roles for providing personal counseling to the distance learners. We hope by use of these discussions today from the experts, you will be able to develop your own conception about learner support system, academic counseling, and provide the best possible services to the students that you will be serving. Thank you very much.